Here's the new Noah Samsen video. YouTube Shorts.
To the Demon Zone. Manosphere YouTube Shorts. I want to make this a regular series just so we can keep tabs on what's going on over there. Keep tabs on those red pillars. See what they're saying. See how these arguments are evolving. And see the all new wet and wild ways they're reinventing misogyny for the YouTube algorithm. Obviously, they're not reinventing anything. They're just finding new ways to package it and sell it to an audience of men. Without further baboo, bet, bump in.
What about you?
I love the podcast. It's super cool. It's a little obviously like misogynistic, but that's already like I already knew that going on.
Oh no. Oh no. Look, I don't care who you are, what you believe. Saying that on this podcast is a mistake. Unless you're prepared to go to war. I see where this is going and it's not gonna be fun for us.
Misogynistic, but that's already like I already knew that going on.
You triggered my trap card!
Define misogyny.
I mean, at least he's honest that he's
fucking owned, dude. Fucking just left wing destroyed, baby.
about to trap her. Very transparent there with the agenda.
Define misogyny.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Placing men above women.
Is that your final answer?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Maybe a little bit.
Stupid. No, it's the hatred and or contempt of women.
Oh yeah, hating and feeling contempt for women definitely doesn't place them lower than you. Those are two totally different definitions.
Bro, he fucking got her so good. Dudes will watch that, even in my chat, and be like, yo, he fucking got her, dude. What a dumb bimbo, dude. Fucking, yo. Fucking, yo, dude. Fucking got her, dude. Fucking owned it.
This lady got it all wrong. She's so wrong. Just a silly lady.
So what did we say that was misogynistic? Please explain.
Please tell
Oh
us.
my god. Seriously.
Oh my god.
Please tell us what was misogynistic.
Oh my god.
It's
So you made a claim that you can't even back up. Yo, honestly, no offense. You're lucky you're pretty because you're dumb as fuck. But anyway.
He's like, let me give you a very clear, definitionally misogynistic statement to help you along on this journey. Okay? Like, immediately fucking proved her point. Like, for example, for those of you who are too fucking dense to comprehend, the notion that women are only valuable as attractive, okay, as attractive objects of desire is misogynistic, okay? That's it. Because for a very long time throughout history and still in contemporary society, women have only been seen as objects of desire. So when you use that as a trope, as an own in your argument, that's going to come across as misogynistic. That is misogyny, okay? I sometimes also engage in this, for the record, especially when I'm talking about like trad wives or whatever, and that definitely pisses off people. Like it's something that I do. It's probably my worst trait, I would say, but like that's it. That's misogynistic. Like you're being a fucking misogynist.
Anyway, we'll move on.
That's exactly what I mean. You're
Like-
saying that I'm stupid because I'm pretty. That's
No, you are
misogynistic.
stupid.
You are stupid though.
Oh, she's right. Oh, she effective counter immediately launched.
Sure, yeah, for sure, guys. Doing not a great job of beating the misogyny allegations there. Just calling a woman stupid for not playing your little debate lord game. Fresh and Fit are some of the more prominent members of this community. But there was something I saw recently that I feel like could shift the cultural viewpoint of these guys. Obviously not from well-adjusted human beings that can recognize immediately.
Help me understand why women still decide to go on the show. They know the outcome. Clout, negative clout, or positive clout is still clout. That's it. Like, a lot of these people have, like, 300 fucking Instagram followers. You know what I mean? Like, they want to get a bunch of, like, horny little incel goblins to follow them. And, like, possibly hate follow them. But, like, still follow them regardless. You know what I mean? Like, that's why they do it.
That they're fucking weirdos, but from the people that watch them, which was their like deeply racist tirade they went on about when they were in like a little content drama with Abba and Preach. Clips like that remind me of like the Sneeko Moist Critical thing or Just Pearly Thing's relationship with Nick Fuentes, how it's pretty uncritical. All little straws on the camel's back of the death of the Red Pill movement, in my opinion. That's my prediction.
I do think that the Red Pill movement is eating itself alive, though. Like, Like even fucking Andrew Tate and people like that are just shitting on like the more prominent figures because they're so like they're such clowns. You know what I mean? Like they are so like objectively sweaty and gross that even other dudes who have been born out of those movements are like kind of disavowing some of the more prominent fixtures in the movement itself. It's odd. There's sectarian infighting in the Red Pill PUA podcasting community, folks. That's right.
Prediction, but who knows? Could be wrong, could be totally wrong. Just my hypothesis. You're lucky you're pretty because you're dumb as fuck. That was fucking everything. Found a stupid woman. Oh, found a stupid woman. She's so stupid. Oh, she's stupid and pretty. Oh, even worse. Here we have a Brett Cooper reaction, the Daily Wire astroturfed right-wing streaming content market void filler. The show is called The Comment Section because most of it is her reading comments from the comment section because she has zero funny, interesting, insightful, charismatic, or any other positive descriptor thoughts. That it's just fully empty.
It's giving lavender baddie with the space baddie glasses and the gloves and of course the inches and the belly. If you guys are partying, be safe tonight and have fun.
This lady, right? Like she's like popping off in like the PUA podcast circuit where like she goes on every, not Fem Shabiro, the lady that she's reacting to. Like it's like another one of those. I don't really know too much about her, but it just feels like it's another like desperate, please lol cow me attempt. You know what I mean? Not Fem Shabibo, not Ben Shabiro's fucking female version. I'm talking about the lady that she's like responding to, like watching.
And last but not least, Happy New Year's, besties!
I was just informed that that is a man. Normalization has gone too far.
Fucking own, dude. Like, there's like 11 different things that you could make fun of with this person, right? Because, like, she literally is, like, I think she's, you know, doing it for that reason, right? She's doing it for that reason. And you immediately have to be like, she's trans. Fucking owned.
Just saying. That's just all I can say.
I am tired of Earth.
It is all you can say because you don't say shit on your show. You just play movie clips. Damn! Me when I watch Brett Cooper and want to puke because it's so boring. But yeah, what's up with this just being like really mean to some random person?
That's like, dude, Noah just identified 98% of conservative commentary. And then the other 2% is like when someone like myself is being mean back to them crying about how mean I am. Like literally, that's like straight up. The majority of conservative commentary revolves around just like being mean. Like they're the fucking little nerds that got shoved into lockers. So now they've gotten together online and they're being mean-spirited back to people that are even like weirder than they are. You know what I mean? That's it. That's like the whole point. Would you date that lady? I am dating your mom. So unfortunately, you know, I'm unavailable because I'm fucking your mom.
For doing a video, a silly video. People that go online and post videos like this while being fat and like gender non-conforming are braver than the troops. Boundless cruelty, just boundless. Fully normalized cruelty, just being cruel to some random person because of how they look and how they present.
Somebody said, bro is 5'11" horizontal. Another person said, day 24 of asking you to run at full speed. I want to see that, but with the tiny, like, weird glasses. That would please me.
Thanks, Brett. Thank you, Brett, for your input. Love Brett. You know, always bringing out the good, bringing out the laughs. She's also one of 10 of the failed Hollywood actors, a part of the Daily Wire, which I always think is hilarious. Deeply untalented people that turn to right-wing grifting to make money, and it works.
There's nothing funnier than like having a fake chat. Like having a fake chat in your fake streaming room that you created, which is like an objectively lower version of like the professional studio format that everyone else at the Daily Wire is utilizing. Like, I don't have this fucking background in my house because like, I don't know. I have created like a fake studio. Like, this is where I live, you know? I have a real chat. And I recognize it. It's like it's a worse version of like what CNN does or something like that. It's a little bit different, but like still, it's not as high quality, right? So lowering the standards that of your production specifically so that you can come across more, more like normal is odd. Especially when it's like super astroturf.
They make money, but they'll never make anything that's good. In my opinion. That's just my opinion. Whoa, hey. Do you want to have an online marketplace that will save you things? Subscription box. Car clips never get old, man. That I got. Check out to save even more. Once again, thank you to Temu for sponsoring this video. And now let's get back to it.
I think the ultimate thing...
The car clips never get old, man. Cash cow talk. I'm a cash cow, baby. Love making some money off of women bad podcast clips.
I can do a little psychoanalysis that might be preventing someone like you from attaining your dream girl is you have this block where you think so much about body count, so much about her being a high value woman.
So you're saying I'm going in with what? Too much expectations?
I don't even think it's expectations. I think it's judgment. A little like too much judgment instead of taking into account all these other things. You're focused on these like minuscule things and you're
minuscule.
I mean, you're just saying body count.
This guy sucks so much, and it's not even because he's a deeply insecure, misogynistic guy. Obviously, that's the case. But because he just can't hold his own in a conversation. His voice falters. He looks around instead of directly engaging with the critiques. And then once he shuts everyone up, he finally gets his soapbox moment, and he just goes, body count is important because promiscuity.
Minuscule?
I mean, you're just saying body count. That's like so.
It's like, bro, if you're gonna be misogynist, at least get good at it. Top 10 least effective misogynists in my book. I remember when I was like looking into this podcast, going to the guy's Instagram, and there was a bunch of comments from guys being like, hey man, I love that you're being like a misogynist and it's great for the program, but can you please like get more masculine? Because you're making us men look bad by being so soy. And as a dude constantly under fire with the soy allegations, I think that's great because being soy is okay, but not when you're an alpha male podcaster. It's just quick and easy way to piss off the target demographic.
That's like so physical. Like, you're
focused too much on the past too. You're not really focused as a
there he goes. Listen to these ladies talk. They are so dumb, right? Producer behind the computer with no microphone.
Here's what's so funny to me. I think women are unaccustomed to hearing men communicate and articulate their preferences, standards, and boundaries. Women are the queens of going for exactly what they want. You guys have laundry lists of criteria that a guy needs to meet.
This is one example of the preferences thing being a cudgel against criticism. I don't think I made a good argument in my last video about this. I wrote on the screen how preferences are sometimes a double standard and how that's the problem with them, but I don't actually think that that's the case. I don't think there's necessarily a moral element to someone having a preference for someone who hasn't, had a lot of casual sex or a lot of sexual partners, because you could imagine a scenario where they themselves aren't experienced and might feel intimidated or like they want to start out their experiences with someone that is similarly inexperienced. I think there's probably a case that something like that is probably fine. The issue is the majority of the time body counts are being mentioned, it is as one method to police women's sexuality, where a man having a high body count is cool and dope, and a woman having a high body count makes her a slut. And cultural norms like that can affect your preferences. So these women aren't saying you can have preferences, they're just saying they might be worth criticizing. All that is to say, preferences are preferences, sure, but why is also an interesting question to ask sometimes. I think the main thing the body count stuff stems from is just like insecurity. It's just plain and simple insecurity. Patriarchy instills in men intense feelings of competition. Like, of all the people this person has had sex with, maybe there's someone that's better than me. Couple pointers there, get good. And the person is deciding to have sex with you, not the other people that might have been better. But it's not a race, just give and receive nuts. That's all. Simple tips with Noah Samsen.
I was a feminist when feminism was about equality, giving women an opportunity to find their rightful place.
Oh my God,
what the fuck is this, dude? Oh God, another one of these things. Jesus Christ. I love these fucking oi cunts. Yeah, right. Fucking sick cunt, yeah? We're gonna talk about fucking feminism, right? Fucking hell. Let's go. Fucking hell. I'm an Aussie. I'm a fucking Aussie. Let's talk about fucking feminism. Yeah.
found the most British person on Earth. This is what happens when you put
Wait, it's not British. Isn't she? She's Aussie, no?
10 queens into a blender, and then out pops this lady.
Equality, an opportunity to find their rightful place.
Yeah, fine. That's not British. It's fucking. She said fine. She's a fucking Aussie. She's a fucking Aussie. Get it right. Fucking Noah Samsen. Get it fucking right. That's a terrible Aussie accent. Shut the fuck up, bitch. At least I figured it out. At least I clocked it. Point.
Particularly in the public world, which was tremendously important and exciting when we achieved that.
So it looks like she's going off the legal definition of equality, which means once all the rights were evened out between the genders, legally speaking, that is when equality is reached. But obviously, aside from the fact that legal rights haven't been won in many places in the world, it's kind of like that argument that conservatives make where they say that because the civil rights movement happened, racism is gone. It's illegal, so people don't do it.
This would qualify as a racist institution, the state of Alabama.
Show me the law. You've named an institution you don't like. Now show me the law.
Which is, of course, a little bit.
Show me the law. Racism is only in individual cases. And even then, if you point to an individual case, then, like, I love the idea of show me the law for racism when, one, it's not even about the law itself, but it's usually about like the disproportionate outcomes and how it's being utilized and weaponized against communities of color. But also, like, even if you were to show him the law, all he's going to do is, well, that law actually doesn't say what you think it says. Okay, that's it. Like, that's the point. The point is that, like, even if you are to show him the law, he's going to turn around and like own you in the semantics argument and be like, that's actually not what the law says.
Silly. That argument is a little bit different though, because as she's about to go into, many of the advantages in society are shifting away from men, but not for the reasons she thinks, I think.
Feminism today, to me, is all about advantaging women at the expense of men. And it's become very much caught up in the demonization of males. I came across an article I wrote 40 years ago where we just started to notice how badly boys were doing vis-a-vis girls. What was becoming very obvious is there were also a lot of boys falling behind and not achieving their potential. We have really very much feminist ideology infiltrating all our education systems, systematic programs to continue to advantage girls.
So what she's talking about here about boys falling behind, especially in education, is 100% true. By pretty much every metric across all age groups, boys are testing worse, dropping out at higher rates. Girls are around twice as likely to graduate at the top of their class. But anyone who's trying to blame this phenomenon on something like feminism is grossly oversimplifying the issue. I'll leave an article linked in the description that references a book. It's called Of Boys and Men that looks at some of the potential causes for this. But long story short, it's complex. Changes in the requirements for labor markets, social expectations of boys not adapting to a changing world, and attempting to paint a causal link between these changes and what she calls the demonization of males is a very ideologically driven perspective. And also there have always been subsets of the feminist movement that have exhibited that sort of perspective. That isn't anything new. I've heard this argument from several women who are a part of the old school feminist movement, and the modern feminists attacked these women as well. I mean, a bad argument is a bad argument, right? And also, how are arguments supposed to be counter-argued for if every time you do that, it's being framed as an attack? Baby behavior there, big crybaby energy there. Look at how the Simpsons changed how they treated Bart. It used to be, he's a troublemaker because he's genuinely smart, but the school system isn't built for him. And yeah, he's got some growing up to do, but he is growing up. Look, he's going to law school in the future. Now, anytime we cut to the future, Bart...
You're at a certain point, you come to the realization that you're dealing with someone with a baby brain, okay? Like, this is how a child operates. You are looking at a cartoon, albeit for adults, but like, you're looking for an adult cartoon for guidance about the world, okay? And your analysis is also incorrect. But like, regardless, it's ultimately just a child's cartoon. You're deriving like systemic analyses off of like an individual child's cartoon, or I mean a child in a cartoon. Sorry. It's so strange. You are a child. You are a kid. Stop looking at movies. Liberals do this too. Okay. One Piece is important. Like, you can derive the political undertones that the artist is trying to convey. That doesn't say anything about the systems. Okay? That literally says nothing about the systems in and of itself. It just says something about the artist. You understand? That is my issue with this commentary. Okay? That's what is frustrating. Can you elaborate on how their analysis is incorrect? Don't necessarily agree with them. I just want to hear your analysis of the future of Bart and Lisa in The Simpsons. That's pretty funny. Chatter. It's a dumb example, but I think the comment is just saying one example of portrayal of men in media. Yeah, it's also wrong as well. Oh. There are ways to derive ideologies. There are ways to pull out ideological perspectives off of the media that we consume. And, you know, Slavoj Žižek has done a very good job with that. But that ultimately is about ideology built on top of our material conditions, our existence, and how how it basically is reinforced through our media in ways that maybe even people don't recognize that they're putting certain things in their content do it. Okay? That oftentimes aligns with what you would recognize as the status quo.
Is presented as more and more of a loser. Meanwhile, Lisa, whose worldview has been utterly coddled by the show, is constantly being told that her potential is being wasted and needs to be nurtured, despite the constant support she gets. Okay, look, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I don't keep up on The Simpsons lore, so if anyone does, can you please fill us in on whether this is true or not? I just love that first line, though. Just look at how The Simpsons have treated this poor boy Bart. Thanks, feminism. The boys notice we just get called trash when we call it out. Obviously, a feeling is being communicated here and being connected with by other people. This comment has almost 10,000 likes. But I do think one aspect that's worth taking into account here is that there's a difference between calling out how feminism is making your life harder and calling out looking for support from those around you when you are struggling at work or in school. I think the men being called trash are probably mostly the former, but also it still is for many socially unacceptable to do the latter. And that's patriarchy, baby. Get it out. Get rid of it. All right, on to the next.
What is the most romantic thing a man can do for a woman, and what's the most romantic thing a woman can do for a man?
Okay, so I'd say the most romantic thing, I'll just use my own marriage, for instance. Obviously, for a woman being able to cook and clean, but I'll give some more specific examples like what I do.
All right, here we go. In a vacuum, someone professing their desire to cook and clean and take care of a home and be a traditional wife, you know, that is fine. I think that's fine. I think some might consider that choice feminism. I don't necessarily think in a vacuum that that's a good judgment on this phenomenon. I also think it opens up a big counter argument because there are still a lot of people that fall into this category that it's their preference, even though patriarchy has instilled that into them somehow. I don't really know though. I'm not that well read of a guy. But the difference here is that this person is professing these values on a podcast that hates women, that wants to see women put in their place, that wants to see women chained to an oven. And so the only reason you'd want to do that is probably social capital. That's why everyone's on these podcasts. Maybe she runs a trad wife account. I don't know. But you know their reaction already from hearing her. You know what they're going to say and what the comments are going to say.
Being able to cook and clean, but I'll give some more specific examples like what I do. I wake my husband up with a massage and coffee every single morning, and every single night I'm scratching his scalp and like giving him a back massage until he falls asleep. It's important that he falls asleep first.
What? Okay. No, I take it back. I'm wiping his butt. I wipe his butt for him because he...
Okay, no one seems kind of jelly beans. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I personally love a nice little, pet on the head. Okay? I'm a fan of that. Feminism is about choice. If someone wants to do that, then, they should be able to do so. Okay? Don't be jelly beans. Head rubs are the best.
Loves it. She's describing taking care of a baby. Change his diaper and give him a pat on the belly. The girl's face as well. Look, she's like, what?
And I would say something that's romantic that he does for me. Well, since I do all of the cooking, it's nice when he takes me out for dinner because it's like a little break and it's just special. And then also even just while we're here in Miami, he's kind of like my little bodyguard, like making sure if there's any men walking by, he just like puts his arm around me and just making sure that I'm protected. That's what it's really romantic. And that's something that a woman could never do for a man.
W, dude. Fucking W. You said all the right things we want you to say. Oh, look at that. She's looking for validation, dude. That's why she said all that shit. Okay. Love it.
Wow. Just terrified of pedestrians. Every man on the street is going to attack my wife, and for that reason, I have a gun holstered in my hands at all times. For the inevitable cringe lord commenters, self-defense is important. Why are you hating on self-defense? I'm not. It's just funny to imagine people in board shorts and sandals walking by and you thinking they're gonna hit your wife on the head with a giant King DDD style hammer. It's just funny. That's all.
Fantastic. Wow. I like it.
You are blessed.
I think a lot of women should really take heed to what you're saying. It's really, really, really
Some
great
very
stuff.
good points.
I mean-
Both you guys.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like the term pick me. I've talked about it before, but this unambiguously going on a men's podcast to brag about how you rub your husband's chin until he falls asleep and burp him like a baby. This is wild. This is the best possible example I've seen. And I think that's super fun. And that's why he's walking around protecting you like a bodyguard. Can't even blame him. He knows exactly what he has. Yeah, my girlfriend doesn't cook and clean, so
I like that we have this like conditional relationship with women, like that, like we will only protect them. We will only fucking protect them if they're giving us back rubs. Okay,
when someone's
got
about
it.
to jump her, I just step back because I would only do that if I had somebody like her. These are the women that I would go to war for and die to protect. Me when I am doing war crimes to protect my women at home who actually is not affected by the fact that I'm doing war crimes. No, but I think a lot of men have this sort of protector fantasy. Oh, World War II. Those men went out there to get the Nazis so they wouldn't come get their wives. And whatever, fine. Everyone has their own fantasies, right? But a lot of these gender dynamic fantasies are really divorced from reality. It's a lot of things that you wouldn't actually practically have to deal with. Because cooking and cleaning is something that has to...
If your lady won't give you a subscription to the Hasanabi broadcast to avoid the top of the hour ad breaks, you should, you know, she's not doing the trad wife duties, okay? At the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, well then, get a girl. Get a woman, get a lady, okay? And she will buy you a gifted sub in between the head rubs and stuff. Okay? Or you can get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. Tamana, thank you for the 20 gifted subs.
To happen every day, and I would guess that this woman has never been jumped next to her man. And it's not because he's a big tough guy, it's just because that's
MP Sharky, thank you for the 5 gifted
a
subs.
really rare thing. So much more rare than daily home labor.
You go up and you punch Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in the face. He's stronger than you.
Wow, why? Why? Ooh, I can't wait to hear this one. Pearl, thanks, Pearl.
Why do women get an excuse? If a weak man hits a strong man and gets hit back, nobody feels bad for him. Why is it that if a weaker woman hits a stronger man and she gets hit back, he goes up to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, big jack dude, and hits Dwayne first?
Yeah.
Nobody is going to feel bad for him when he gets knocked the fuck.
I think like the point is if there is like an objective, like noticeable physical difference in size and force between two parties, whether it's man on man or man on woman, like it's on the larger person to, you know, not retaliate with like an amount of force that is like going to genuinely fucking hurt the other party. You know what I mean? Like it's up to you to de-escalate. I'm a big dude. I see that as a thing that I should do. Okay. Now, legally speaking, or rather in a situation like if someone is trying to harm you and you fight back, like it's fine. You know what I mean? That's no one is going to fucking cry about it, in my opinion. But again, it's yet another weird avenue here where like these people have basically completely dropped all notion of being like good human beings. You know what I mean? It's like they're like fantasizing about hypothetical situations where like someone is being awful to the other person. You know what I mean? Like immediately they're like, yeah, I am on board with like disproportionate use of force by a party that is much more powerful in this hypothetical situation. You know what I mean? Like a normal human should look at that and go, well, if you're a big dude, like you of course have the right to defend yourself. But like, you know, contextually speaking, if the situation doesn't call for it, I think escalating with additional use of force is, you know, not the best thing to do, right? Not. But like for them, they are literally like, I'm fantasizing about doing violence, like a man doing violence to women. Like a woman hit you and then you got to hit back and fucking kill her. Like you got to beat the shit out of her. And it's like, yeah, full powered hitting an 8-year-old for hitting you. Exactly. That's the way I see it.
Out because you shouldn't have messed with him. Why do women feel like it's acceptable?
So this is another example of this philosophical idea that gets thrown around as a men's rights point. Equal rights, equal fights. Women should be able to get punched in the brain if they hit men first. And on first blush, you know, violence is bad. Someone getting attacked, regardless of who it is, might want to defend themselves. But is punching someone back the same as defending yourself? Especially if you're a bigger, stronger man? You know, it probably isn't. But more importantly, you know, this hypothetical could not be more divorced from reality. The vast majority of domestic violence goes in one gender direction, and that's not to disparage the male victims of domestic violence, but only one of these things is brought up in these spaces as a talking point, and that's the violent fantasy of men hitting women back, as if that's something that hasn't been happening in society for not billions, for a long ass time. Let's just say that.
The question to ask is the amount of money that you two girls are making on, is it worth giving up a family and love?
Yo, this dude is always white knuckling when he's talking to women, and it's like it's kind of terrifying. Like he always looks like, I mean, what a wonderful way to segue into this conversation, because he always does look like he's like, I hope a bitch hits me in the fucking face so I can fucking unload. Like I'm sure he's not like that, you know what I mean? But he just like sounds like and looks like and gives the vibes of a person who's just like, yeah, I can't wait to fucking exercise my right to bear arms on you.
Because any man that is worth his fucking salt that you would even be attracted to wouldn't put up with it. I can tell you right now. And you, my dear, are a depreciating asset.
Whoa, what's up? First of all, with this music, crazy frog ass beat.
You, my dear, are a depreciating asset.
But also, bro, you're a weird guy. You're a strictly weird motherfucking guy. I tell you right now, you ain't gonna do this crap. This guy went on that Jubilee video, I'm pretty sure, and he was so quiet. He was so quiet. But put him in a room full.
Yeah, he was like, he came across as like reasonable at times, you know what I mean? And certainly unreasonable in others, but nowhere near as unreasonable as he is on like those whatever podcast clips that you see on the timeline, where he was just like, you know, very odd.
Full of like 19-year-old college girls. That's an alpha male right there.
Now, and you, my dear, are a depreciating asset. So every day that goes by, you're going to be less and less beautiful. And at some point, there's going to be a history of you doing that. As beautiful as you are, you're stunning, you're a pretty girl. But no man that is going to be in your league is going to put up with it.
I think this guy skipped that part of kindergarten where they teach you that people are different and that that's okay. What he's saying is him and his boys don't like OnlyFans girls.
I don't know. Am I fucking soy? Maybe. But like my immediate thing when I hear something like that is like, why are you being so mean? Like, why is there automatically this like immediate like back and forth where it's like, I fucking hate you. Like I'm gonna say some fucking awful shit about you. You know what I mean? Like just like it's reeking of insecurity. Like when I see someone behave like that, I'm like, well, you're kind of being insecure. Like I can be very ruthless, right? I can be very cutting. And for me, I get to that point when like someone is very clearly demonstrating that they themselves are in some way like devoid of a piece of humanity that we should all have inside of us. You know what I mean? Noah or the podcast dude? No, I'm talking about the podcast dude, man. Like when I see a dude say like you're a depreciating asset, first of all, also kind of misogynistic because like again, if you noticed, one of the only fucking values that you are ascribing to women in that regard is their beauty and how you perceive their beauty, right? Which is already a subjective thing. It's beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And I say kind of. What do I say kind of about? I don't even know what I'm saying. Oh, what he's saying is, yeah, it's not kind of misogynistic. It is very misogynistic. Anyway, everybody calm the fuck down. Shut up. Anyway, it's just like it's, but also on top of it being misogynistic, it's also very rude. Like, it's just like a mean-spirited, very rude thing to say. And I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, why is that? How is that like, I don't get like how that's a brand now. You know what I mean? Like, oh, dude, like, I'm gonna be the fucking rude guy. I'm the bad guy. I'm a villain, dude. And then like these people hailed him as heroes. You know what I mean? Such broad, unfunny, unfound attacks. Yeah. I don't get it.
Him and the men he knows aren't into that and would judge a woman for that. But not every person is the same. Some people value different things and other people have more open feelings about sex work and so on. So he's walking around projecting his values onto every person he sees and getting mad, actually, because people defy his values. And that's really messed up of them to do.
And so the question is, if you were truly in love and you had true desire for a man that would put his foot down with you and tell you how it was going to be, would you or would you not give up your OnlyFans?
No, I wouldn't. Same way if I wanted to really expand my dating pool.
Then you do not genuinely desire that man.
Job.
You would not be in love with that man. Because if you were in love with that...
I love that they're saying, like, get a job. Well, while simultaneously telling her that, like, the job that she has, she needs to give up for the dude. Like, okay, what if she was a fucking chef? You know what I mean? What if she's a chef in a kitchen, okay? A more respectable, more trad profession. And it's like, you gotta get over that. You can't be in the kitchen. You can only cook for your man. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be cooking for other men. That's gay. Just like, what the fuck? Bloody, don't do that. You got to give up your job for your man. It's like, what? Why? Then that's not her man. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? And once again, another marker of misogynistic sentiment also revolves around, like, women's personal preferences, exclusively revolving around what men want and how to attract male partners. And it robs women of their humanity, right? Like, you wouldn't say that to any other fucking human being. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a very weird thing to say to a person, to be like, yeah, no, you can't do that. You got to stop your job that you're doing, that you've made money with, if you want to attract a male partner. Like, okay.
That man, you would shut it down, and that day will come for you. It'd probably be way
Again,
down
why
the
don't
road.
I put on a hijab? Because then I can find a man who actually reciprocates, because Muslim men lower their
Any
gaze when other women
man that asks you to do it
by.
and you say no to, you're going to look at as a pussy. You will not respect him and you will not love him.
I know what you want more than you know. I know better than you know about your own life.
Yeah, I mean, Noah nailed it as well, but like, that also does come from like, why would I listen to you? You're a woman. You don't know what you want. Again, you don't know what you want as a woman. I know what you want because I'm a man. I know what women want.
Because I'm in a black tuxedo. And it's so funny how threatened they are by the fact that someone's a sex worker, they're openly a sex worker, and that doesn't disqualify them from meaningful relationships. Oh my God, it doesn't disqualify you. I'm gonna poop my pants. I'm gonna poop my pants and wear a black suit. Once they get a taste of the money and attention, the idea to focus on just one man is damn near impossible for them. I have a YouTube channel that gives me money and attention. I like those things. Does that hurt my ability to focus on one person? No, it doesn't. Stop being so judgy. You're being so judgy. She honestly believes she can go change your outfit, who's who, and be viewed differently. Wow. Yeah, I don't know if that was what was said, but I think the whole point is that you can date people that aren't going to judge you for your profession, and that's kind of a prerequisite to being in love with them, you know? Someone that's going to judge you for your actions, if your values don't align in a relationship, you probably won't fall in love. But if they do, aside from their judgment of your status as a sex worker, then yeah.
They hate sex workers so much that they keep inviting them on their shows. I mean, it's a mutually beneficial relationship. Sex workers get more clout. And those fucking like patriarchy dudes love fapping to the women that they see on these podcasts. And they will definitely pay a pretty penny for the privilege, you know? So it's like I said, it's a very mutually beneficial relationship.
Yeah, I don't think that's such a bad thing to say, nope, no thank you. Next.
She gets up and she says, Patrick, this is very hard for me.
Oh, this is my guy. This is my guy. This is my favorite. This guy's such a legend, dude. I love this guy. Oh my God. He's the best. Patrick Bet David.
And let me tell you why it's very hard. I said, what's that? She says, ever since in high school, I wanted to prove to men that I can beat them. So when I graduated high school and college, I opened up my salon. We do very well.
Felix Biederman thought he was Israeli. Yeah, Felix fucking got it wrong. I immediately nailed it, dude. As soon as I saw him, I was like, that man is Iranian, okay? He is very Israeli coded, okay? I will give Felix that. But as soon as I saw him, I was like, that's immediately nailed it. Because, yeah, Iranian Cuban dudes, yeah. Iranian dudes are the Cuban dudes of Florida. I mean, of California.
Made millions of dollars. My people and my work that work at the salon, they do very well for themselves. I drive a nice car. I have a nice house. I have money. I have millions. I don't worry about any of that stuff. You know what decision I made last night? I said, what's that? She says, I want a husband. I no longer want to compete with men. Mm-hmm. I need them. And I'm like, what?
Wow, this sounds like there's someone's life story that shifted over time. Someone who pursued money in a career and then had a change of heart. I wonder if this will be weaponized to denigrate feminism.
Camera.
Let's see. I wonder. There's probably not, right?
She's saying this in front of 2,000 people with her sister sitting right next to her. Wow. And now she's getting emotional. How many 65-year-old women do we have to hear saying that I marched with the feminist movement and I bought into the fact that men are the enemy? I've never been married. I'm alone and I'm miserable and I wish I would have never bought into that philosophy.
That's a nice alternative to a dating app. Just do a speech where you say that I'm a millionaire and single and looking for a hot bod. Raise your hand if you want me to take you out to dinner at $1 million soup organization. The best thing about buying into this philosophy is that you can always unbuy into it by downloading Hinge. Like making a decision for your life that you end up wanting to change, isn't that like a pretty normal thing that happens? I get his point here is that they're brainwashed by feminist ideology to do things they don't want to do. But if the whole time she was doing that and obviously doing it for a reason, then she changed her mind, is that the worst thing in the world? I mean, that's just how life is, you know? I don't know. Maybe someone else has a better counter argument to this video, but I think it's just fun. I also like the lady listening on being like, wow,
brilliant,
harrowing story. Just wow,
brilliant.
Damn.
Men got the right to vote before women because men were subject to military conscription.
Fucking Brian, bro.
That's awesome, dude. He's the GOAT. Okay, I've changed my opinion on this guy. I love that type of shit. Okay, I love that type of shit. What about black men? What about that? So what's up? How do we feel about that with respect to black men? What's that about then?
Oh, I don't want any more Brian, his little voice and his little crap. Also, tell me this isn't the most dripless person you've ever seen in your life. Red flannel, star.
That literally took 3 seconds. to address.
Stars on the hat. Patterns are going nuts, going all over the place. Decide on a pattern and stick with it, buddy.
Men, if you elected a representative to represent you in the government, that representative could then vote to send you to war. Men being the exclusive, let's say, victims of forced military conscription ought to have more of a right and a say. And men...
Where did he come up with that? I've never even heard that before. That's awesome. That's such a fun little theory. I love that. No, that's cool. Is that like normal? Is that a normal thing? I've never heard that before. You think he came up with that, or is that a common thing? I've actually never heard that. Cause like, I guess I don't really encounter a lot of like anti-suffrage arguments in the wild, and I professionally do this. Like, I professionally listen to bad arguments, and even then I haven't really heard that before, because it's like I said, I've literally never encountered an anti-suffrage movement argument in the wild in 2023. Like, it's so wild, even Ben Shapiro's like, what?
And
let's see if he agrees with it. Ben's like, cogwheels are turning in Ben's mind. He's like, wow, this is... Hypothetically, I feel like this is a good argument that I will also state.
You could cut this clip a little bit tighter, just saying. Speaking as a video editor, just cut out the places where he starts a point and then doesn't finish it and goes to a different one. Just cut that out. And then it might put up the facade that he is competent.
And that privilege came with a corresponding responsibility. That corresponding responsibility was, you have to go to France and die in the trenches. You have to go get trench foot. You have to go get chemical...
Wait, what? Wait, go to France? What? Wait, what? Is he talking about World War I? Wait, what? Dude, this is getting weirder and weirder and weirder, dude. What the fuck? He's not talking about World War II, okay? Because by that point, unfortunately, women, women are voting at that point, okay? What are we talking about? What time period is he talking about with respect to women being able to vote versus men being able to vote, but they're also going to France? What is he saying? What's he saying? I need to investigate this further. Men able to vote because war. I guess maybe he's talking about like old enough to fight, old enough to vote. The World War II roots of the 26th Amendment. Is that what he's saying? Like, voting age was 21, but they were sending people to war at 18. Is that what he's like trying to like tie into? Is that what it is? Prior to Louisiana Purchase, that area was part of France. Dude, he's not talking. What? I don't think he's talking about that, dude. That's pretty funny if he was, though.
Chemical gassed by the Germans. That was the corresponding responsibility. That's how men got the right to vote before women.
3 times he said corresponding responsibility. Look, I know I'm not really responding to anything he's saying here. I'm much more criticizing the form than the content itself.
Dude, he like, yo, that's fire. He like mishmashed a bunch of random facts about like, who was able to vote in America. And like thought that he would be spitting, but I don't know why they just posted that without fact checking it. Talking about D-Day at Normandy, but he said trench warfare, so like I thought maybe World War I, which again, none of this even matters about like men going to war because like men were being sent to war and were not allowed to vote. And World War I nor World War II is not when men got the right to vote. Yeah, he's talking about trench warfare, so I think he's talking about World War I. But, like, why did women get the right to vote then? It's not like they went to war. Like, this doesn't make sense, but it's fire that he's saying it. I like it.
Damn, man. Damn. I'm also trying to figure out if this is an actual Ben Shapiro reaction.
Yeah, like, men were able to vote before World War I. What is he saying? Like, white men, of course.
Or if someone just put a video on loop, like in Ocean's 11 when they put the vault security footage on loop to trick the guys into not calling the thing. This is tricking viewers into thinking that Ben Shapiro gives a fuck about this video and agrees with or disagrees. I don't even know. There's no indication that Shapiro has any reaction here. He's just staring. Imagine trying to have a serious conversation with a girl wearing pink cat ears. Yeah, it's called being an adult. It's called being an adult, bro. Have a conversation with a person regardless of how they're dressed. Oh, you have pink cat ears. Oh, this is too triggering for me. I can't even talk to you. Yeah, well, fucking grow up, buddy. Some people wear pink cat ears. You can't handle it? Scary? Too scary? Also, there's no serious conversation going on here. He's doing a monologue. They're cutting back to the girls who aren't saying anything because he's rambling, but it's not a conversation. Let's make that abundantly clear. Also, yeah, if we take into account the fact that military conscription is still, I'm pretty sure in most countries, male, he's making a women shouldn't vote argument. Like, I'm pretty sure that's the implication here, right? I don't know, man. I'm getting tired of this crap.
You really, in your heart of hearts, believe like a woman who's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to like apply these conservative values and give it a good go. Like, learn to bake, you know.
Learn. Me on my first sourdough experiment. I'm a Republican now. Pretty sure this guy went viral recently for being like pro abuse.
If there's someone that's very, very young, might be really religious and like values marriage a lot and goes into a marriage and has kids when they're like 18, 19, 20.
This was a great
and
counter.
A year into the relationship, it
For the
gets
record.
really
From
Would
who?
you from both?
This is so rare.
Anyone
It's so
really.
rare.
I mean, it happens.
Go on,
I'm
go on.
just- My point is, I'm
Hypothetically.
just even though it might be rare.
I like that when an interlocutor brings up a hypothetical, then it's like, oh, that's just rare. Why are you bringing that up? Meanwhile, like 99% of the arguments that they suggest is quite literally always like insane shit. It's like, yeah, what if a fucking Nicaraguan death squad came busting down your door and they all got fucking guns and like, you don't have a man around, John Wick, to like go and fucking shoot everybody. Guess what? What are you going to do then? Bet you would love men in that situation, right? And it's like, what are you saying right now? What are you saying? Abuse in like, you know, families is very, very much commonplace. Like, it's not like an insane hypothetical at all. And abuse, as it pertains to like divorce, is also, you know, a major factor of consideration as to why divorce should be allowed. Okay?
Rare from what you guys think.
It is. Go on.
If it would happen, what would you recommend for those people to do? Would they divorce, or do you want them to keep going in the relationship?
You can't divorce. I mean, that's not a real thing. You can like separate. See, his Catholic background shines through. He knows. You can't divorce. You can separate, but you can't actually divorce. That's not a real thing.
Even though it might be like physically abusive.
Because you got to endure. People are too.
You want to stick into the
People
relationship.
are just.
I mean, look.
People.
I do not believe for even 3.5 seconds that dude wearing a tie has ever been with a woman. Okay? Please tell me this dude is there's no fucking shot this dude is definitely single. Okay? This dude is definitely fucking single. No shot has this man felt the comfortable embrace of a woman. Okay? I don't believe that.
Nowadays are just pussies. Everybody fucking quit.
And then it was exposed that he self-admitted to abusing someone before. Who could have seen this coming? Who could have...
pack my children's lunch and like do my best. You think a woman who decided to like start an OnlyFans is a way better choice?
What I'm saying is that with the way society is structured right now,
for you to decide that you want to be a full-time stay-at-home mom, wife, parent at 18 or 19 is a more radical decision than trying an OnlyFans.
So this clip doesn't include the full scope of the argument being made here. So I don't know what his reasoning is behind calling that decision more radical. But I think this speaks to the sort of grossly inflated perception of how many people are privy to the idea of starting an OnlyFans and are actually doing that and taking the steps to do that. It's a very
I mean, those guys are such fucking freaks. Destiny looks incredibly normal in that situation. 100%.
very, very small percentage of people, even though that percentage is growing largely, and the number of people that are seeing that as a viable option for a career is growing, obviously so. To insinuate that that's somehow like the majority or the culturally hegemonic decision as opposed to being a stay-at-home parent, I mean, that seems a little wild to me. I think the better description for the decision to be a stay-at-home parent isn't radical, but unattainable, because it's not attainable on a single source of income in a lot of places. So it's radically ill-advised, but this lady's gonna start talking now, so let's go.
Yeah, you described marriage, like traditional marriage of two young people, as, or compared it to.
What the fuck is Misa doing here? What is happening? Bro, go pick up the Death Note. Like, you know, you're letting L down. You know what I mean? I'm fucking Kira down. Shit. What is happening right now? Why is she? Where did she come from? I didn't even notice her. I didn't even notice that she was there until, like, she chimed in.
To a woman selling her sexuality.
Exactly.
Which is, it just shows that you're so desperate to cast marriage in a negative light.
Okay.
Traditional marriage specifically in a negative light by basically calling it a form of prostitution or slavery or subjugation of women. And it's simply not true.
Okay.
Why cut out the response? You know, what's the agenda here? Cutting out the response to that claim seems a little odd to me. Yeah, well, you said this thing that was so mean, okay? That's why you fucking suck. That is one thing about the way these shorts are edited that's just so silly all the time, is that it's someone just preaching and maybe someone responds like briefly, but that response is never actually representative of a genuine response or like an argument, because if they did that, these videos will go less viral. People want to engage with getting mad at someone who is apparently demonizing the idea of a marriage, because that's what they want. They want a traditional marriage. So when someone's demonizing it, ooh, I hate it. I hate it. But who knows if that's what's even going on, and I don't care enough to go back and watch. But notice that about these shorts, they're all cut pretty similarly to portray one perspective or portray that perspective dominating the other, because, you know, someone.
I kept getting a YouTube short of an old debate you did with some old guy. The title was something like Hasanabi gets owned on anti-white racism, and it had like 1 million likes. Wait, really? Link it to me. I love shit like that. Most of my debates I come across as the victor, in my opinion, but Hasanabi gets destroyed, owned, anti-white